What does drip mean?
Like style. Yeah, like if you see me right now, you say a drippier.
If you want to call somebody cool, what would you say? Like
Probably like mad lit on God or something.
mad lit on God?
Yeah,
Like,
or like
G-O-D?
yeah, mad lit on God, no cap.
Mad lit on God, no.
A grand rising kings and queens from Africa and across the ocean. Come back to my YouTube space. It's another month and I'm so happy to have you back on my YouTube channel. I love you, I see you, and I honor your pleasure here. Now, I say this, thank you for choosing truth over noise, and thank you so much for walking with me through the global awakening, because I'm saying this, if you are new in the family, you are welcome. And if you have been here holding this line with me, you already know how we do it. We are not just watching history, we are making history happen, okay? So today's message is loud and clear. Gen Zs, they are choosing black culture over white systems. Gen Zs, whether Latino, white Gen Zs, black Gen Zs, Indian Gen Zs, Asian, they are choosing black culture over white system. And beloveds, I'll say this. This isn't a phase. This is a global shift. This is a cultural revolution. This is what happens when truth starts to rise and false systems start to fail. And on this video, I'm gonna play you some few clips here, but I want us to break this down piece by piece, because the world is watching and the system is trembling. But before I go down to that, let me play you some clips here, and then we come back with more commentary.
Do you know where this pose comes from? So I often mention how Black American culture dominates the nation, yet is rarely credited, or worse, is whitewashed and just called Gen Z culture so often. To combat this, I'm starting a new series called How Everything on This App Originated with Black People. Today we're going to talk about this viral pose. When it's done on TikTok, the pose is most often accompanied by the song Hey Loft by the band Mother Mother, and it involves someone sharing a bold piece of information about themselves. But it's such a common and widespread meme, and now even the Sharp family singers do it. What could this possibly have to do with black people? Well, this pose actually originated in basketball subculture to represent the saying ice in my veins, which is a play on the term cold-blooded, which means ruthlessly competitive or skilled at the game of basketball. It was famously popularized by the former Lakers player D'Angelo Russell, who would make the pose in celebration after scoring. But like most things on this app, the meme's roots in black culture have been widely acknowledged for the sake of associating with Gen Z more generally.
All I do is get the bag, my legacy's forever, never just a fad. Talk Jews.
Like really, as if Jay Park's entire career isn't just black culture. Also, just in case anyone thinks I'm lying, please look at the
Today, you can thank black people for him. Black culture has influenced many popular fashion trends you see nowadays. In this video, I'm going to highlight just a few of them, but let it be known there are a lot of them out there. First, I'm going to start with sneaker culture. Sneakers became popularized in the black community in the late 70s and early 80s thanks to fashion, hip-hop, and basketball. Shoes like the Jordan 1 came out in 1985, and the sneaker industry boomed within the black community at that point, and it became known as sneaker culture as we know it today. Second one, hoop earrings. Hoop earrings go all the way back to Mesopotamia. Even Egyptian men sported hoop earrings. But in more recent times like the 60s and 70s, black women would wear hoop earrings as a way of showing unity and strength. In the 90s, groups like Salt and Pepper famously began wearing bamboo earrings, being called ghetto for this style. Today, hoops are seen as a staple of fashion for many women, thanks to the black women that paved the way. Third, I want to talk about long acrylic nails, and I want to highlight FloJo. If you don't know, she was once the fastest woman in the world. FloJo would often run at events with long nails that were 4 to 6 inches long with bold colors and designs. At that time, FloJo would be criticized by some critics saying she was abnormal, different, or deviant. And in the 90s and early 2000s, long nails were seen as an offensive stereotype amongst black women until other women started wearing them. Long nails originated back in Egypt, and throughout history, long nails have been seen as different, and black women have been criticized heavily for their long nails. But thanks to the black women who got criticized for their long nails, they opened the door for women nowadays to sport their long acrylic nails without any judgment from anyone. Streetwear emerged in the 80s around the same time that hip-hop emerged. And I'm going to make a whole nother video about streetwear, but the same young people of color that were wearing streetwear at that time were the same people that were victim of the systemic injustices, especially Ronald Reagan's war on drugs. Black people were heavily criticized by the streetwear that they wore in the 80s and oftentimes were targeted because of it.
All right, racists, let's talk about you culture vultures. Racist America does not love black culture. It requires it. In the same way a tick requires blood, they are intentionally dependent on black innovation because whiteness has no internal generator. It is a closed circuit of theft and mimicry, constantly rebooting itself on black genius just to feel human for 5 more minutes. Every jazz solo, every drill beat, every dance challenge is not just entertainment to them. It is dialysis. They yearn for the possibility of measuring up. They study black people in a fashion that totally blinds them to appearing like a Bundy/Dahmer hybrid. It's total psychosis. Whiteness consumes blackness the way an addict huffs oxygen. Not to thrive, but to avoid dying. And we can all agree that this is not new behavior. This is a historical genome of obsessive, racist behavior, from cotton to copyrights. The theft and culture adaptation started from a space of hiding the uniqueness of black people's hair and fashion. In the 1800s, vaudeville performers blackened their faces and became millionaires. In the 1900s, racists decided that they were sick of stinking up the bars while standing still, so they moseyed on over to the juke joint and began their theft of the blues. And when that became boring, because clearly no one wants to listen to Mitch McConnell cosplaying B.B. King, they repackaged rock music. How does one unseason chicken? Well, Dwight's found a way. Gentrifying R&B with the talents of George Michael, Michael Bolton, Michael McDonald, Christina Aguilera, and John B. While they all aren't total flops, could we have lived without their contribution? Absolutely. In the 2000s, they whitewashed hip-hop, and then staged Kanye making Taylor Swift a victim. All she had to be was be Jasmine Sullivan and be good enough to release music without a scandal or some award show scheme. In the 2020s, TikTok bans black creators but rewards the mimic class with brand deals. Whiteness doesn't create culture. It loots it, drains it, and then gatekeeps it, as if its hands were dripping in blood and glitter. While we are grateful for the contributions of the artists mentioned, we must ask ourselves, why? Why do we need white artists in an industry where they are swallowed whole without some huge circus to catch everyone's attention? Yet a full export of black culture to the rest of the world, basically saying, hey, look, China, we have the gold over here. Therefore, you must do what we say. They want so badly to own black culture when they don't have the ability to contribute or create one part of it. To love black culture while fearing black people is state-sponsored schizophrenia. You can't cheer for LeBron, but call Tamir Rice threatening. They want the bass of black music, but none of the memory of violence and theft encoded in the chord. They want the hips, the lips, the slang, but not the screams. Why are they obsessed? Because blackness is aliveness. It's spiritual elasticity. It's memory under pressure that sings instead of breaks. Black people are everything that everyone else can't be. Every time they imitate black culture, it's them admitting that black people are the source.
Welcome back. Now, when I say Gen Z are embracing black culture, and I mean this, I'm talking about spiritual alignment. I'm talking about a conscious rejection of colonial programming. I'm talking about a deep craving for truth, rhythm, power, and justice. You see, Gen Zs, they were born into chaos. They were born after 9/11. They grew up during recessions, climate disasters, and systematic racism. And they saw their parents struggle the millenniums. They saw and they watched the system lie, and they asked questions. Why is this? A lot of questions were asked by the Gen Zs. For example, the past generation was raised in a different way, you know? But Gen Zs, they are being raised online. They are being raised on YouTube. They are being raised on Instagram, TikTok, name this. And most importantly, they are raised on unfiltered truth, you know? Because as Gen Zs, we saw the real stories. We saw the real pain, real brilliance of black people from Ferguson to Soweto, from Harlem to Accra. And they started asking questions. They started asking the right question. Why is the system built on black labor but never honors black lives? That's one of the questions this generation asked. Why are black people always portrayed as problem when we are the culture? The question I was asking myself too. Why is blackness feared but copied? The question I was asking myself. Why are we taught that Africa is poor when it is the richest continent in the world? I was asking the same questions to myself. And Gen Z saw the contradictions. And we made a decision. And this decision was that we are not buying into the white system anymore. We are not following lies. We are choosing the culture that gave birth to music, movement, and the strength. Right now, Gen Zs are choosing black culture because it is real, it is raw, it is revolutionary. We don't sugarcoat in black culture. No. We talk about the global shift. For example, music has changed how culture looks at us. Whether you are in Lagos, whether you are in Los Angeles, Tokyo, New York, Nairobi, Toronto, Gen Z is bumping to black sound. Gen Zs are dancing to black sounds. Afrobeats, hip hop, R&B, trap, drill, dancehall, The highest names in music right now, Beyonce, Doja Cat, Asake, Tems. Each and every artist who is in the A-list in the world. You will not cease to mention this artist, and these are Africans, are black artists. They are not just dominating charts, but they are shaping. See what Kendrick Lamar has done. He has won a lot and a lot of, because black music at the end of the day, it carries more than just a beat. It carries a message. It tells the truth. It tells the struggles. It carries joys in the face of pain. It turns resistance to rhythm. Gen Zs are tired to fake. They want something real. Even if it hurts, they want something real. Look at the fashion. Who are they wearing? Or what are they wearing? Durags, real sneakers, natural hair, African jewelry, Ankara print. Even fashion brands are copying the black culture. Louis Vuitton, Dior, Gucci. But here's the difference. Gen Z is calling it out. They are not copying. They are crediting. They are uplifting the black designer. Gen Z is calling it like they are not just copying, but they are crediting. They are uplifting the black designers, the black creative, and the black voices. Even languages is shifting. Everywhere you hear phrases like no cap, that's lit, stay woke, vibe check, you ate. Black slang has gone global. But this time Gen Z isn't mocking it. They are embracing it. Because that they know the creativity, they know the soul, the genius that come from the black experience. It is top notch. It is top. But this shift goes way deeper than music and fashion. It's about justice. It's about truth. It's about studying with black people. It's about standing with black families, not just words. So your friendship. Back in 2020, George Floyd was murdered. It was not just an American moment. It became a worldwide awakening. From Belgium to Brazil, from, Korea to Kenya. People took to the streets screaming Black Lives Matters. They marched, they cried, and they organized. Because the truth is hard. Black people everywhere have been oppressed. And Gen Z have said it, enough is enough. They protested against police brutality. They demanded change in schools. They exposed racist teachers, cooperation, and racist systems. And again, Gen Zs are again rejecting capitalism. They are asking, or they are calling out billionaires. They are investing in black billionaires. They are talking about Black Wall Street. They are learning about corporation wealth noted in Africa traditions. When you talk about education, Gen Z is challenging, and they are asking these questions. Why is my history textbook whitewashed? Or where is the truth about Africa before colonization? Why don't they teach about Marcus Garvey, Kwame Nkrumah, or Mansa Musa? And they are not accepting half truth. They want the whole story. And they are finding it in black voices. They are finding it in black platforms. They are finding it in black minds. Now, here's what is very beautiful. We are witnessing the rebirth of Pan-Africanism right now. Black youth from the diaspora to the continent are reconnecting digitally, spiritually, and culturally. And black Americans are learning Swahili. Jamaicans are doing business. Black British youth are building ties with Ghanaians, creatives. So this is the return of Pan-Africanism, and we need to put that alive. I want to know my people. I want to build across borders. I don't want a division. I want unity. From non-black to Gen Z, allies are approaching alternatively. And they are not trying to lead the movement. They are trying to learn from it. They want to decolonize their minds. They want to decolonize black unity, or to amplify black truth and not replace it. That's Pan-African in monitoring, not just theory, but a living culture. So I'll say this. The white system sees this and is scared. because it knows once the youths wake up, one, black culture is honored, not exploited, and the lies are exposed. So the system, of course, has to do something. First, they are panicking. They are panicking. They are trying to rebrand oppression as inclusion, trying to profit off blackness again, trying to sell fake diversity, performative allyship, corporate sponsorship hashtags. But Gen Z isn't falling for it, and they can smell the fake, or they can smell this fake. There is not here for symbolism. They want substances. They want, or they are demanding justice. And I'll say this, Gen Z are not looking for charity. They are demanding justice. And that's why the old system is trembling. But Gen Z is not loyal to you. They are walking away from the colonial education, from organizing, religion built on slavery, from capitalism that doesn't care about people, from politics to science teachers. They are waking up to from a colonial education, from organizing religion built on slavery, from cooperation. They don't care about people, from politics that silence truth. They are building new systems, black-centered, community-driven, and truth-rooted. So what now? What will happen is this one. Where do we go from here? We uplift Gen Zs. We thank them for their courage. We protect their voices. We invest in black culture with intention. Superior black business. Find black Americans. Celebrate black creators. Honor black ancestors. We build globally. Diaspora say and continent. Caribbean and South America. UK and South Africa. Atlanta and Narok. And we are one family. And finally, we keep speaking, we keep singing, we keep fighting, we keep loving, because we are the culture and the movement. We are the shift. So my brothers and sisters, let the world hear this. Until next episode, peace out.